Welcome to a special edition of Arizona Wildcats Insiders Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Hutchison. And yes, we already have done our podcast for today. But however, after Thursday's press conference with Brent Brennan, today called for two press conferences. For two podcasts. We needed to have another podcast. We couldn't just rely on the one ready to go for today. We had to get another one going, ready for today as well. This one's going to be a little bit shorter, but Arizona's gearing up to play BYU. The Wildcats come in with an impressive 4-1 record, and they're facing a BYU squad, number 18 in the country, that's 5-0, and has been very good both offensively and defensively, led by a freshman quarterback. And then their head coach, Delani Sataki, does a great job of getting these guys ready. They're very physical, they're very tough, and they're always sound offensively and defensively. They don't make mental mistakes. They don't shoot themselves in the foot. So this is going to be a tall task for Arizona. And yes, I think the Wildcats have a chance. However, during Brent Brennan's press conference on Thursday, news came out that Trey Smith on the availability report was going to be out for the game. We knew that. So we had a chance to talk to Brennan about the injury, about the significance of this injury for Arizona, and the length of this injury for Arizona. And when asked, what is the situation with Trey Smith, Brent Brennan simply put, he had surgery this morning, which was Thursday morning, and it has resulted in a season-ending injury. He will not be available for the remainder of the season. Now, when asked about the injury, he would not disclose any details, if it was his leg injury, if it was a hip, if it was this or that. ACL, who knows? The details of the injury were not disclosed. Mind you, last season, Brennan during the offseason, as we were getting ready for the 2025 season, Brennan stated that Trey Smith was playing with a broken foot last year, was playing through significant injury. And it kind of hindered his performance, but still had a great year. So it begs the question, did he re-aggravate that injury, or is it something completely different? To be honest, we'll never know. Brennan's not one of the coaches that gives details on injuries. Maybe Coach Gonzalez will detail it come Tuesday during the press conference following the BYU game. But leading up to the game, we're not going to find out. That's not going to become available. All we do know is that Arizona now is down Trey Smith, one of their stars on defense, who, yes, his stats don't look amazing this year. 7 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, but he's been battling through injury all year long. He's one of the better pass rushers in the Big 12, and he was kind of getting going at times, getting pressure on quarterbacks, but hadn't finished the play, or they got the ball off in time, or somebody came and stole the sack. But just having his presence out there and the ability to put pressure on the quarterback is huge for Arizona. It's huge for Danny Gonzalez, and it's huge for the defense. So taking that away is a massive blow for Arizona. Now, he only played in 4 games. So I'm going to ask Brennan when we have an opportunity next time, because I just thought of it now, if he has another year of eligibility, if he could redshirt, because he only played in 4 games. He could redshirt after 4 games, because he could be available for the Wildcats next season, which, yes, it sucks for this year for Arizona, but would be a massive boost come next season as you get that defensive line older, you get more talent in. That would be a huge boost for Arizona for the 2026 season. Now, looking at the situation for Arizona and having the depth chart right here available right in front of me, what are some options for the Wildcats? Let's go over them. Mays Pese has been very good as a freshman. He's 6'7", 271. That probably isn't very accurate at this point in the season. He's probably a little bit more, but has been very good, has been one of the better freshmen on the team. Does he start? I don't know. I think that's a little hard. Maybe he starts initially. I think you're going to see a mixture of guys there. I don't think, and again, they mix up the defensive line all the time, but who's going to fill that? I think it could be a couple dudes. Mace Pese is one of them. You could do Malachi Bailey and swinging them on the other side, but then you're thinning the other side of the field as well. So I really don't see that as an option. What I think is going to happen is we're going to see a lot of Chase Kennedy line up on the defensive edge. He was a defensive edge last season. He was a defensive edge for Utah. Arizona moved him to linebacker. He slimmed down a little bit, and it's been phenomenal for them. And he's been very mobile, but he has a knack for getting to the football. So I could see them putting him as like a stand-up D end and blitzing the passer. So I think Chase Kennedy is an option, Mez Pese, and I think you're going to see a little bit of Riley Wilson there. And mind you, Myron Robinson just got a sack last week. He has that length and he has good strength. So you could see a mixture of 4 guys rotating in that position. And I think Arizona's linebacking core has the depth to withstand losing one of those guys every now and then as a play. So, but here's the main thing. Danny Gonzalez is such a good defense coordinator, one of the better defense coordinators in the conference, one of the better defense coordinators in defensive minds in the country. He's going to mix and match stuff. He's not going to give the same read twice. He's going to keep the quarterback thinking. He's going to keep the quarterback honest. So if you had to have an injury like this, you're lucky you have a coach like Danny Gonzalez that knows how to scheme and mix things up and keep the offense honest. I think Arizona will be fine. It is a huge blow. I mean, anytime you lose a leader like that, anytime you lose a playmaker like that, that's a significant loss. But we will see how Arizona handles the loss of Trey Smith come game time. Arizona kicks off against number 18 BYU, Arizona Stadium, 5 p.m. kickoff. Rain's in the forecast on ESPN2. We'll see you there, and we'll have full coverage of Arizona BYU as we get closer to kickoff, and we'll have full coverage on Arizona Wildcats on SI. Follow our Twitter account at Arizona Wildcats on SI, or follow me, Troy Hutchison, at THutch1995, and we'll see you next time.